Today I will show you how I came up and made this walk using my laser cutter and 3mm plywood. The best part is I have the digital design available on my website, so you can cut and build one yourself. You need to have some experience with your laser machine and should already know how to use it and how to cut with it. With that said, let's dive in and go through the process of how I build it. As a maker, I've always been really curious about everything. This curiosity though isn't unique to me. I think every maker has this need to figure out how stuff works. A while back I came across something called topology optimization. It started when I watched a YouTube video by Wesley Kagan.
Take the trial piece from a 4, put it through topology optimization, we end up with a mesh, and if we clean that up, we end up with this structure.
He explained why modern mechanical parts sometimes look so weird, almost organic, like they've grown naturally. I immediately knew I wanted to try using this idea. So I started simple. I just sketched some rough drawings and came up with the first version of my clock. And I didn't stop there. With time, I've tried different variations, different shapes and sizes. That's what's fun about my work. I can play with my ideas, I can think of new ones, or I can come back to old ones and work on them again. I'm using air assist at 1 bar of pressure, maybe less is also sufficient, but my laser is only 6 watts of power and it's trouble cutting even 3mm plywood, and it's slow. Cutting all the 4 pieces took me about an hour and a half with 200mm per minute speed and 95% power. I always have undercuts, and the way I tackle them is using my X-Acto knife and just trying my best to trace them as exactly as possible. With my layers already cut, I will see whether I have all the pieces correct, make a dry test fit, and from there I will go on with the glue up. I have come up with this ingenious way to make glue ups using wood glue that I mix with some water to make it more fluid, and this foil that I will just stretch over my table so that I can spread glue, and this method works very well for me. You can do that of course with CA glue, but tracing these narrow lines of the clock pieces will be a hassle. With my glue spread, I will just go on and one by one I will put the back of the pieces in the glue and then on the layer that is below it. This is wood glue and it will need several minutes to set up. Usually I would wait for it like 2 minutes is totally fine for me, depends on the glue, and some battery weights to make it stick better, to make a better glue up. The excess glue I would just take off with a damp piece of cloth, and this is it. Once I have these 4 layers all glued up, I will wait for them again like 2 minutes between each layer and then see if I have any recessed glue, and you would usually have some. I'm just trying to get rid of it with a damp piece of cloth. You can use sandpaper also. Now this is a very important step. Again, dry test fitting the face that will not be black but will remain natural. Of course you can paint it any color you want. You cannot paint it if you like, you can leave it like that. But I'm making sure it fits. If it doesn't, you'll have to sand it a bit. And these back holes serve very well to poke it out of there. With this done, I will proceed with gluing up the back panels using CA glue. This time CA glue works wonders. In fact, I only found CA glue like 3 years ago when I read the book Every Tool is a Hammer by Adam Savage. It's a great book, helped me a lot in my making career. Now, again, the back panels, I will fit them without glue. Make sure they fit in place, because sometimes the plywood is different thicknesses. For example, this was supposed to be 3mm, but it's a little more than 3mm. Anyway, I just sanded what I had to and installed the back panels. Now, our dials. This is a very simple technique for me. I use it because I don't want them to like blow away when I am spraying them with this paint, acrylic paint with satin finish, jet black. I will apply maybe 3 or 4 coats depending on how well it covers. Make sure that you use light coats. Apply several of them, but don't overdo it. I will do the same with the clock face, but this time with satin finish that is for wood. I want to talk about lasers. And not just lasers, but CNC machines in general. Be it a laser cutter or a 3D printer or a CNC router. These machines, they fascinate me. The fact that I can have something from the internet appear in front of me using my CNC machine, this is amazing. This is, to me, it's unbelievably amazing. Imagine you see a wall clock, such as the one you're looking at the video. Just think about the opportunity that you have if you have a laser, that you can have that almost as if extracted from the screen and in your hands. Isn't that amazing? Of course, it will differ the way you paint it, the way I painted it, the material you used. You could use some different material as long as it's 3mm thick. The fact that you can have it at your hands easy and fast is amazing. The traditional way of doing this would be different. How would you cut these hollows inside of this clock? Using a bandsaw would be different. Using a jigsaw would be different. And you will need at least 1 day to do that. 1 whole day of doing that. You need much more space, much more machines. You have to know more about how to use them. And the possibility of making things so efficiently, this is what I realized and what got me to start creating digital designs. To be honest, I hadn't created a new product for 2 or 3 years actually. Many times I would start something new, but I would leave it somewhere in the process. And now my newly discovered opportunity to use my laser and create a new product, to bring another idea from my head and into the real world. I grabbed that, and for only 2 months, I had 2 months where I created a new design every week. Something I hadn't done for quite some time. So, this is it. You have your clock. I hope you will enjoy making it, and thanks for watching.